This ACC preview edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by WinBet. Bet $100 at WinBet and get a $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WinBet to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by the College Football Experience. Get ready for the college football season by checking out all 131 college football team previews. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CFB. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CFB.
Hey folks, this is Bud Foster. You're listening to SGPN. Let's let it ride. Go Hokies, man.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan. Real money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Oh, I can't wait to talk Coach Pry. Here, Colby's on the Coach Pry train. Sean's on the Coach Pry train.
Yep. Yeah, we talked to. We got the Virginia Tech preview coming up with Bud Foster on its own episode. Join us here to talk about the rest of the ACC. Colby Dant, aka the Dantabase. What's up, Colby?
Love football, guys. Love it. Can't wait for it. Let's kick the ball off here. Let's do it.
We should have asked how many refrigerators did Coach Pry have to move as part of the interview process. That didn't get brought
How
up.
did we miss that?
I'm Coach Pry. I'm gonna move. It's a lot like my Andrew Luck impersonation. But yes,
It's messed up, dude. He's not like
dropping
that.
later today. Bud Foster, Virginia Tech preview. A lot of fun having Coach Foster on the show. Good times all around. Pac-12 Win Totals podcast just dropped that. We still got our division previews coming up. Week 0 college football picks podcast. Yes, please. And we'll
week
make
3 preseason.
We'll make room for some week 3 NFL preseason.
Yes, sir.
And whether you're betting college football, professional football, or hell, even fringe sports like baseball, you got to do it over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WinBet. That's right. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. Bet big, win bigger with WinBet. I mean, if you haven't signed up and just to get that $100 risk-free bet $100, get a risk-free $100 bet, support the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, become the coal that keeps the content train moving. You got to support when they support us. That's how it goes. Win, bet, confirm. That's right. All you got to do is sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions at WinBet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where playthrough WinBet is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. And we're also brought to you by Run Your Pool. That's right. Run Your Pool is the perfect place to go when you want to literally run your pool when it comes to Pick'em, Survivor, any sort of college football, pro, any sort of pool under the sun. They got you covered, fully customizable. And if you sign up right now, you can get in our free NFL Survivor pool where you're going to compete against all the other listeners. $500 cash for first prize and a $250 gift card to the SGPN store. All you have to do is go to play.runyourpool.com/SGPN. That's play.runyourpool.com/SGPN. Get in, get over there, and start dominating NFL Survivor. Yes, Colby?
$250 SGPN merch store. How many jigsaw puzzles of Kramer is that?
I don't know, Kramer. What do the jigsaws go for?
I want to say it's like a $20 price point, maybe.
I mean, you're looking at least 10 different puzzles of Ryan.
That sounds
and
fantastic.
Let's see. The $24 version will get you the 252 piece.
Oh,
puzzle, but there's also a 520 piece for $30. So a little bit more bang for your buck there. That one's going to be a 16 by 20, basically.
Play.runyourpool.com/SGPN. All right, let's do it. Let's get into it. Let's get into the grind. Talk ACC. Start with the Coastal, work our way up, get in all the way. Starting at Duke, going all the way to Clemson. Let's
start
go.
with the good team. So Duke, end of the Cutcliffe era, win total comes out. It's 3. I don't have the juice. Very nice job, Colby. I apologize. The minus 125.
I already yelled at Colby
Sean.
for it.
Yeah.
Plus 115 on the under. 20-1 to win the division. 200-1 to win the conference. Both of those are just complete trash throwaways.
So this offense averaged 14.9 points in ACC play. Then they lost their quarterback, Gunner, which is a great name for a Duke quarterback, Gunner, and leading receiver Jake Bobo, and running back Mateo Durant. All those guys left. Oh man, I mean, defense allowed 46.6 points a contest and 7.1 yards per play in the ACC last fall. Is there any optimism, Colby, in the Duke program right
yes.
now?
I was gonna say, I think the nerds will tell you it's like a Kansas situation.
Well,
right?
you got Mike Elko, and Mike Elko comes over from Texas A&M and Notre Dame at DC. Previously, before those stops, he was at Wake Forest with Dave Clawson, so he knows how to win at a school like this. He's a damn good defensive coordinator. I was actually on the fence whether he would take the job or not because I thought he was overqualified to get a bigger gig.
I mean, Duke's got money though. You got to always. I mean, that always matter. And basketball school, so low pressure.
But it is a transitional year. Obviously, Cutcliffe offensive coach, Elko defensively, so you worry there. But I can see a path where they could get I mean, first off, it's the Coastal, so. Yeah, even the games West. You think of like Virginia at Wallace Wade Stadium in Durham, North Carolina. I got no idea who's winning that. I would favor Virginia, but but
yeah, I mean, again, it's 8 years, 7 champs. Every single team has won the division once in the past 8 years. So yeah, I mean, there's always a variable. It's just hard to see Duke being that variable this year.
I'm going to take the over though.
They do. I mean, can they beat North Carolina A&T?
Yes.
Okay. Are we sure?
No.
Yeah, that's the problem.
They keep a good football program.
They do
so
keep
real quick, we'll rattle through the schedule. At home against Temple, at Northwestern,
and they've had Northwestern's number lately.
NCA&T at home, at Kansas, Virginia at home, at Georgia Tech.
They could start off 5-0.
I mean, at home against UNC. At Miami, at Boston College,
the road games,
Virginia Tech at home, at Pittsburgh, Wake Forest at home.
So 6-0.
Where
I mean, they need to get those first 4 games. They need to win 3 of those, I think, because then I think it's going to be tough.
Be careful, Colby likes to coach.
I mean, he's a very good coach.
Be careful. At Kansas, I mean,
That's
like
a
Kansas.
loss for me. That's a loss.
Yeah,
they're going to Kansas. They're going to take an L.
At Northwestern, to your point,
they've had Northwestern's number. I feel like they've beaten him like 4 out of the past 5 times.
So, and that's that's a strangely big game for the nerds of Northwestern. Private school bowl right there.
I mean, I think it's probably going to land flat. Their transitional year too. I mean,
okay, so there's maybe 3 wins. Again, when your ceiling is
Georgia Tech, they could beat Georgia Tech.
Can they?
Yes. Georgia Tech sucks.
It's on the road though.
I understand, but they might be
college
coachless.
But this is college football. Road matters. I mean, my take on this Duke team is they're going to crater, and I think you're nuts to take the over. I know I've seen a lot of like analytical models have them winning like as many as 6 games, like the database over here, but
it's the Coastal, dude. They're going to win some games you're not seeing. I know on paper you could sit there and say, "Oh, this team's better." There's a lot
to talk about Duke. Kramer, what are you doing? Over under.
See, I told you, Sean, we can't go that long.
I know you're the one who has to go to soccer practice, not me.
I'm going under.
Okay.
Wow. See, Sean's just upset about talking football.
I'm gonna go with Colby. I'm going over 3. Just because of the new head coach, I think maybe enough. and the schedule's weak enough.
I mean, the argument would be Cutcliffe was just check the fuck out, which
Yes.
might be true. Georgia Tech 3.5 plus 110 to the over, minus 120 to the under, 35-1 to win the division, 200-1 to win the
Now this is your under.
conference.
100%.
They're both unders.
No, this schedule is insane. Once again, Jeff Collins, it's a make or break year for him. He's going to be fired because this schedule is absolutely insane. They get Clemson every year from the other side.
Non-conference against Georgia, Ole Miss, UCF, and crossover games Clemson and Florida
Yes.
State.
At UCF.
They're returning
At
4
UCF.
starters.
It is the dumbest schedule. It's like, okay, look, bad enough that you're going to get Clemson and Georgia every year. Then they're like, okay, well, let's
don't
bring
even
in
run
Ole
the-
Miss and go to UCF. What are you doing? You're giving the coach no chance.
There are 2 wins on the schedule. I think conservatively 2 wins, and they're gonna beat Duke, and they're gonna because that's homecoming,
I don't know.
and they're
I
gonna
don't
beat
even know that's a sure
Western
thing.
Carolina. Shout out! You know what though? I will be rooting for an upset week 1 against the Clemson Tigers. Is that one of those weird non-conference?
No,
games?
no. This is the rival. This
It's a real conference
This is a
game?
real conference game.
Okay.
It's a crock of shit though because they play it at that stupid Mercedes-Benz stadium.
This is a clear under.
It's half the stadium will be Clemson fans.
Who can they even sneak up on? I mean, they have multiple 3 back-to-back road spots.
Dude, he's
That's
gonna
insane.
be fired. That's what I'm saying. They have
This is
3
a-
back to. It's one of the
All
hardest
right.
schedules in college football.
Let's move
This is
past
a
it.
lock.
This is a lock.
We don't need to walk through their schedule. I mean, just naming the non-conference stuff, they're going to get dominated.
I mean, 3 back-to-back away to give folks out there an idea.
Is Georgia Tech getting paid to play Georgia? Is it like one of these?
3 in 1 season. Oklahoma's played 1 in 10 years. LSU's played 3 in 10 years. So they had that just shows the pyramid scheme that is college football.
It's a horrible nerd school too. Speaking of nerd schools, good nerd schools, Virginia Tech. We got a whole
We got a
preview.
whole episode, so tune into that one.
Teaser. I do like the over, but you should tune in to hear why. Virginia 6.5 minus 125 on the over, plus 115 on the under, 7-1 to win the division, 40-1 to win the conference. By the way, Virginia at 10-1 to win the division, 55-1 to win the conference.
I
So
do
the
like.
Wahoos, Charlottesville.
I like Brennan Armstrong. I'm with Colby. I think the guy is like a scrappy, fun quarterback, mobile, runs around, lefty, which is always fun. He averaged 427.3 total yards a game last fall. What I'm concerned about, Colby, is Virginia lost all 5 starters up front, and they're bringing in a pair of
New coach.
Yeah.
pair of tackles from FCS transfers. So new offensive line, completely new head coach. Where does Brennan fit in this? And then how's their defense going to hold up?
That is a very good question.
Hey,
I mean, the
UVA
defense
just
can't
got-
get much worse, but
Yeah, UVA got run the fuck over. They were just
yeah. The wide receiving core though, one of the best in the nation. Yeah, I mean, I'm concerned. I don't like the Tony Elliott hire necessarily.
Kind of a soft hire.
But this schedule is incredible. Have you guys had a chance? Look, we made fun of Georgia Tech for
Beautiful.
being really hard. This schedule is incredible. You can actually make a case.
This
Look
is
at that.
soft.
Look at that. From what they have 5 straight home games. Is that? I mean, this is a really nice schedule. They don't really. Who's the flat out loss? Like,
All
tell
right.
me the guaranteed
Richmond
loss.
at Illinois.
Probably Virginia Tech.
So let's just walk through it.
Yeah.
Richmond at Illinois. ODU. Again, they're unlike Virginia Tech. They're cowards playing them at home. At Syracuse, at Duke, back-to-back road
I mean,
that's a
spots.
great back-to-back,
super
though.
tough. Then we got Louisville as your home game for homecoming. That just reeks disappointment for all those preps wearing their
I mean,
polo
they probably will lose that game.
polo
but
shirts
it's
and
a
dresses
50-50
to a
game.
football
Oh man, they're
game.
playing. Keep going through the schedule.
Bye
But
week
this is a massive
at
over.
Georgia
Yeah.
Tech, Miami at home, North Carolina at home.
All their tough games are at
Pitt
home.
at home.
How'd they get
Coastal
this
at
fucking
home,
I'm
schedule,
telling you,
Colby?
the schedule is gold.
at Virginia Tech.
Who's Brennan Armstrong paying off? This is the best schedule I've seen in a long time.
I don't
Over.
even know what game. Like, okay, besides Virginia Tech, there's a chance they might be favored in every game because that Miami game, they might have some losses by the time that game has occurred. So
I
They
mean,
could go 9-3.
can I
Are you
add to
kidding
this?
me?
Miami has Florida State on deck.
it's so great.
The
It's
week
so
they
great.
play UVA. As much as it pains me, I almost have to agree. This is Pitt. Maybe do they spoil the party?
I mean, all those teams. There's a 50-50 games.
What was the total? 7?
Yeah, 6.5.
6.5. Ryan,
Give me the over.
Damn, this is weird. I'm
wahoo, wahoo, wahoo.
Light your tiki torches.
I mean, I'll cut this out of the podcast, but now that we're coworkers with Chris Long, I'm trying to be a company man. So over on the
Ryan.
On the again, I would just circle. This.
We should play this. Colby, send this clip to Coach Foster.
Coach,
he's gonna rescind our
Coach Pry. You know, he's having me be a little bit more open minded. Why be so hard on a team that has only beaten us once in?
How did they get
years?
that schedule though? What happened?
That's a great skill.
Who got the hand job at the?
They sucked a lot of dick. North Carolina 7 -110 to the over, +100 to the under. Because again, WinBet -105 both ways. We love that. +400 to win the conference. 16-1 to win the. Or I'm sorry, 4-1 division, 16-1 conference, 200-1 to win the national championship. This is a horribly priced team.
3 back-to-back aways yet again.
Mac Brown, on top of the schedule being tough. I mean, I get it. The gimmick's over. He's grandpa. He's not in touch. They're paying the kids tons of money because Jordan, the Jordan brand, and all that good stuff. But he's not the right coach. And
their offensive line
lost
sucked.
a lot.
They lost.
Sam Howell was a gamer.
Yeah, Sam Howell. You could argue maybe carry the team. I
mean, again, I made the case earlier. Does not develop the talent there. Mac Brown is
ranked 11th in the ACC in pass efficiency defense and 10th against the run. They've been a goddamn sieve.
They brought in Gene Chizik though, and I do think the defense will get better with him being.
But I think the offense is going to be such a fall off that so I'm betting they're not going to go 8-4. Yeah, I can live with that definitely. Their offensive line allowed 49 sacks last year. They're only bringing back 2 starters on the O-line. I mean, you got a redshirt freshman battling out for the starting quarterback spot. Josh Downs, you lost 101 catches last year.
No.
Oh no, he's back.
No, he's back. Yeah, there are other receivers out. I'm drawing a blank on his last name.
They catch, the majority of their games at home that need to be at home. But they have they catch everyone Virginia the ACC, for as much as they're kind of being spoken about as a conference on the outs and not very good, a lot of teams with ranked numbers next to their name, a lot of teams in the top 25
preseason.
I agree, Colby, but especially when you
Miami's
include Notre Dame,
preseason top 15 every year, and they end up 7-5.
Look, I think North Carolina is not. They're potentially in trouble. Let's go through the schedule.
Yep.
Florida A&M, the Rattlers. This is not a game they should lose, but the next week they head to Boone and take on App State. That they're absolutely on upset alert. They then have a second.
They gave themselves back-to-back away Sunbelt games
at Georgia State, which
They're
should be a winnable game.
Out,
but Georgia
State's good.
Is a well-coached football team. Then they have another one. We're breaking down Stanford again. Hey, you want to have a bye week 3, week 4 of the season? That
horrible
sounds great.
Idea.
At least they played week 0, so they have 2 of them.
True. Coming off the bye, then they have Notre Dame, the Hokies at Miami, at Duke, another back-to-back road spot, another bye week. What is that? October 22nd. Then Pitt at Virginia, at Wake Forest, another back-to-back. Georgia Tech at home, very winnable. NC State at home. Again, NC State, a very talented team this year. I mean, North Carolina
feels like you can get to 5 wins there or 5 losses pretty easily.
You know the angle though that I have it right on the number, and I'm gonna go over based off of this. They've been recruiting the best over the past few years. Now I know Britton Brooks already out for the year. They're wide out. I'm drawing a blank of the second wide out on the team from a season ago. He's out until I think October or until Halloween, but I think it's more likely that they go 8-4 than 6-6. That makes sense.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. I'd love for this to be 7.5. The cowardly whole number of 7 is a bummer because them being 7-5 makes a lot of sense with this schedule.
No, I think they're going to be 7-5, but yeah. So, but I think it's more likely they're 8-4 based on the talent they've been recruiting at and bringing in Gene Chizik. Then they go 6-6.
Yeah, but I also, I would lean under here. I have faith.
You
that
tower in Italy?
They'll find.
What are you doing?
They'll find a way to screw this up. I'll take the under.
Okay. I'm also taking the under.
What was Colby on the under, the over? He took the over.
I took the over.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's playing both sides. Hey, before we talk more ACC win totals, shout out to Odds Trader, your one-stop shop when it comes to getting the best odds, the best signups, the best promos from the sports books. And again, it's a one-stop shop. Game day stats, player stats, live odds. Again, anything you need for betting on sports, Odds Trader has you covered. All you got to do is go to oddstrader.com/Blue Wire. That's ODDS Trader, TRADER.com/Blue Wire. Projected game day weather, bet tracker, little bit of everything. Odds Trader has you covered. They're your number one site for all your game day bets. We're also brought to you by Sleeper, the fastest growing fantasy platform. Millions of players. Again, we have our Dynasty League on Sleeper. Great fantasy platform, but now you can get paid real cash with their over under game. Great for baseball right now, and then NFL season right around the corner. Very easy. Just click over under on your favorite player stats. You guys know how to play player prop parlays. You can win 2x all the way up to 20x. And when you use our link, just go to sleeper.com/SGP. 100% deposit match up to $100. Sleeper.com/SGP. 100% deposit match up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Last but not least, oh, look at this. I got my coffee mug. You know what's in there? Delicious Trade coffee, giving me the energy, the focus I need. Hey, I just love coffee. I'm addicted to coffee. And thankfully, Trade Coffee, they are a great dealer because they deliver coffee right to your house. Freshly roasted beans, designed specifically to match your whatever kind of coffee taste you want. You take the coffee quiz. It's pretty fun. It's, hey, I like this kind of coffee. Don't like this kind of coffee. Whole bean, pre-ground, whatever you are, they got you covered. Over 5 million bags of fresh coffee with more than 750,000 positive reviews. Right now, Trade is offering new subscribers total of $30 off your first order plus free shipping. Just go to drinktrade.com/SGP. That's more than 40 cups of coffee for free. Get started by taking their quiz at drinktrade.com/SGP and let Trade find you a coffee that you'll love. That's drinktrade.com/SGP for $30 off. Kramer, Pittsburgh, let's go.
Pitt Panthers, Fade Narduzzi still in the black book of college football betting, although they did win the conference last year.
Pitt's good when you don't expect them to be good, right? I'm worried about this hype for Pittsburgh.
Well, much like North Carolina, the theme of the ACC is you have a lot of teams with quarterbacks with experience, a lot of starts under their belts. Pittsburgh and North Carolina lost Kenny Pickett and Sam Howell, two of the vets. So it does seem a little odd that they're towards the top of the win total in the Coastal, and so I think quarterback experience is so important. We see it in college all the time. If you're not completely elite, and even then, like Big Cinco, D fucking sucks. We'll talk about him more later. So Colby, having experienced guys, like the fact that they're going to be rolling out Slovis.
Colby, what do you think? How do you think Slovis will do?
Slovis sucks.
If he can stay healthy,
he sucks.
He's injured every year.
He sucks.
But I'll tell you this though,
massive step back from Kenny Pickett.
True.
But they're gonna have a great defense. So
I was about to say
they're bringing back 7 starters from defense,
and their whole offensive line is back. So the line of scrimmage, they're going to be really nasty.
And and we've seen it, right. Aaron Donald, the home of Aaron Donald. I think of those 7 returning folks, Sean, like 6 might have been all ACC folks. So it's good folks they're returning too. So
crazy. Did you mention the split on the juice? It's crazy. Over 8 is -155. Under is +140.
I don't think I even mentioned the number. +140. I'm sorry, +270 to win the division, 850 to win the conference, 100 to 1 to win the Natty. I mean, the Coastal doesn't have a repeat champ, and generally it's not even a repeat like successful year lately. Teams come up and then they go back down, and so
the thing though that jumps out to me right away
seems like their floor is high though.
Well, what do we just talk about with North Carolina and Virginia and Virginia Tech today? There's a lot of question marks on the offensive line. You're going up against Pitt's defensive line that is really, really good.
Yeah.
Like I think one of the best in college football, let alone the ACC. I'm gonna ride the over. But I mean, I'm nervous because Narduzzi telling Whipple to get, throwing him under the bus and saying we're going back to ground and pound, which I love ground and pound, but I don't trust Pat Narduzzi's in-game management of it.
Will they, if they need to, will they be able to score some points? Because again, Kenny Pickett,
Slovis got to stay healthy.
Kenny Pickett got drafted in the first round. Kenny Pickett was not a first round quarterback. West Virginia, they opened the season against West Virginia on Thursday night.
Schedule's
at home.
brutal. Backyard brawl
Brawl right off the bat. Who's going to be ready for that one? Again, fresh quarterback. That makes me nervous. I love all the other pieces.
Well, and 10 Power Fives. They have Tennessee. Tennessee catches them in the best spot because they haven't played the backyard brawl in like 15 years. That place is going to be burning down. I was
going to say couches will be on fire.
Well, it's in Pittsburgh.
I think regardless, that's a 40-minute drive. That place is going to be fucking insane. The fans have wanted this matchup for like 20 years. They're finally getting it.
There will still be couches on fire in Pittsburgh, in Morgantown, everywhere. Tennessee at home.
See, again, I think this is not a bad, and you get the long rest though off the West Virginia game.
I don't know if Tennessee's a maybe not.
I think it's a sneaky spot.
That's a bad matchup for Pittsburgh, probably. I mean, again, we've talked about Hendon Hooker as a potential Heisman guy, so I wonder if Tennessee stretches them out, will they be able to score with them?
But Narduzzi has had great success against Heupel
at Western Michigan. Again, strangely,
Western Michigan ruined their season last year.
Weird road spot here.
And then they're gonna go to Kalamazoo,
and then they have a week 4 bye / FCS battle against the Rhode Island Rams.
Kasim Hill at quarterback, he's good.
Then we hop into the conference schedule. We get Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech, both at home. Again, they've done well against those teams at home. Bye week at Louisville, at North Carolina, tough little stretch there. Syracuse at home, at Virginia, Duke at home, at Miami. I'm a fan of this Louisville team. I just, to me, they're going to lose one of those first 3 games at a minimum. I think just having a new quarterback, your offensive line can be good and your defense can be good. Slovis, we'll see if it's right. And I think the second part of this is, to your point, they're just they're changing. They're removing continuity because Narduzzi wants to change the way he plays. And so would it be the first time Narduzzi was wrong? Again, fade Narduzzi's in the book.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, especially with the money split. I think I would just take the plus 140 versus, I mean, 9-3. I don't know.
You're better off just taking them to win the division.
Their floor is high. I don't think this is going to be a team that drops down to be one of the worst teams. But
I don't know. I'll go over 8. Although this does feel like a push into Colby's point. At over 8 at minus 155, you're probably just better playing them plus 270.
But we could finish the season and they could have a bottom 3 quarterback in the ACC. Is that a hot? That might be a little.
No,
hot,
but I also think they can have their offensive and defensive line could be like top of the conference.
Sure, and they might be 0-2, and we'll see how they respond to that. So
I'll go over.
Shaking the hate. I'm on the under.
Colby,
I'm going over.
Over 8.
That defensive line
giving out minus 200
against so many bad offensive lines. Yeah.
Over under Colby's overs in the ACC Coastal.
He's got a lot of overs already. ACC is going to win a lot of games according to the database. All right, last of the coastal teams, Miami. 8.
Colby is 5-1 to the over on the ACC Coastal.
Miami 8.5.
Can he make it 6-1 with Miami?
He won't though. He won't.
I will.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
8.5 minus 125 to the over. Plus 115.
How is this
to
going
the
to
under.
happen? He played each other.
Plus 140 for the division. 5.5 to 1 for the conference. 75 to 1 for the national championship. I mean, this might be the best quarterback in the conference.
No.
This
Stop.
Don't
insult me. Everyone's saying that. I think he's good, but come on.
This might be the best Miami team we've seen in some time. Cristobal, an alumni coming back home to fix Miami and bring back. He's getting rid of the turnover chain. He's fixing the culture.
Ruiz, the NIL collective. That guy's more important than Cristobal. He's paying everybody right now.
I think Miami's showing that they're willing to play ball and be a top spender. Sean, we discussed potentially grabbing them at 7-1 back earlier in the summer in the futures draft to win the ACC because they are a fun they have the upside to do it. But Miami is nothing more than Texas of Florida. They've not been good in a long time.
There's a lot of talk about how this is going to be their year.
They're going to be
restoring the culture.
They're going to be massive favorites
The
in
Devin Shapiro led culture.
some of these conference games, and I think, you know, they catch some good spots and they also catch some bad spots. And then
Miami's just last 20 years they've been a tough team to back with expectations, right? Like
they have some tough spots this year. Like they have some winnable games that turn towards lose. I disagree. I think they have some spots that could potentially, like situationally, could cause some problems and cause them to lose some games they shouldn't. And yeah, they of course have a situation where they might get their ass fucking pushed in very early in the season. So
really, I don't see that.
All right, well, let's walk through it. We have the Wildcats of Bethune-Cookman. What just stepping out, really doing their thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Hard Rock Stadium,
favorable, dude.
Southern Miss, the Golden Eagles coming down to South Florida. Then they have their tough road trip to College Station.
But even that is a winnable game. It's not like A&M was setting the world on fire last year. A&M has questions at quarterback, questions on the O-line right now. Like,
I don't trust Miami at all.
I don't either. I came into this thinking, I'm going to lock the under. You pull up the schedule and you're like,
and Middle Tennessee State into the bye. They're 3-1. I agree.
3-1. They could be 4-0.
Then they come out of the bye. They have North Carolina at home, at Virginia Tech. That's always a tough spot. That will be a night game.
Tech always gets up for that game. Oh, they're going to be playing Enter Sandman.
Oh wow, Sean!
And just like Bud said, instead of just coming out great, they're going to play great for those 60 minutes after.
They need to. That he said they need to do that.
I'm going to speak in only football time.
Duke in a sandwich spot between the two Virginia schools at the Virginia Cavaliers the next week. Then they have Florida State
and Virginia's a look ahead spot for them too.
At Georgia Tech, at Clemson, back-to-back road spots that rolls into a Pitt situation.
Yeah.
So
we can get to 4 losses.
Yeah, the Pitt game is pivotal.
Under 8.5.
I'm just gonna say they're gonna win one of those 50-50. Like to me, at A&M, at Virginia Tech, and at Clemson, and then you have the Pitt game. Those are the 4 hardest games on the schedule. I think they'll get one of them. Give me the over.
Getting Pitt down in Florida late in the season, that could be a good spot for them. But you know they're gonna be. They're gonna drop one of the games, Georgia Tech or Clemson. They're gonna drop one of the games. They're gonna. It's a weird spot. It's between Florida State and Clemson.
Had struggles against Georgia Tech.
They're gonna drop one of the games, either Virginia or Virginia Tech. They're gonna drop. I think they're gonna drop. What's that? So I'm at 2. Texas A&M a loss.
That's an easy schedule though.
It is, and I think it's hard to get much more than 4 losses. But I also think they probably have. Like they're gonna be. The winner of the Coastal is gonna be 8-4.
Dude, for like the past 5 years, I've locked up Miami under every year.
You're going over?
I just think you have to. It's more likely that they win one of those games that I touched on.
Under. You're probably right, but under. I can't do it. I hate Miami.
No, they're just.
I'm not locking it up or anything.
Anytime they have expectations, I want to fade them.
I took 2 overs and the rest were unders. Keeping it going, Sean.
Well, Colby took 6.
Colby's balancing out.
6 overs, 1 under.
Dude, but explain that the win totals, a lot of those were similar, and if you play 4 out of conference games, it can certainly happen.
All right. I mean, Colby thinks the ACC is going to win a lot of games this year. I like it. Next up, we're moving over to the Atlantic. Syracuse,
most interesting team in the conference.
The Orangemen, the strange northern road trip. 4.5 -110 on the over, +100.
Sean Tucker,
80-1 division. That's crazy. 200-1 conference. That's also crazy. What? Tell me why, Colby. Why do you like Syracuse?
They're the most interesting team in this conference to me because they went out and hired Robert Anae. And if Robert Anae was at BYU with Taysom Hill, he was also the guy that got Brennan Armstrong. And Brennan Armstrong was a safety out of Ohio that he made a quarterback.
His ability to recruit.
Well, if you know who the Syracuse's quarterback is, Garrett Schrader, a former Mississippi State wide receiver. So they have a really good running back, and then they also have a couple scat guys that I think they can get really creative on offense. Now, how fast can he do it? Because Babers is coaching for his fucking job is essential, but I do think they are kind of the wild card as far as like want to watch a crazy. UVA's offense last year was bananas, and the way that he got creative using Keaton Thompson, the way he got creative using Brennan Armstrong, I think he's going to do some similar stuff with Garrett Schrader.
First 6 games, they have 5 at home. That's crazy.
But again, I kind of like this Louisville team, and that's going to be a tough spot for them to start the season. Again, they could surprise everyone, like Colby's saying. Maybe they come out with some wackiness, and then it's at UConn, Purdue at home, UVA at home, which that little revenge spot there maybe. And then they have the Wagner Seahawks for homecoming. That finally Syracuse figured out how to make a schedule where they get to win on homecoming. Then into the bye week, and this is where it gets just out of control. NC State at Clemson, Notre Dame at home, at Pittsburgh, Florida State at home, at Wake Forest, at Boston College.
If they're gonna hit the over, they got to go like 4-1 in the first.
They got to go 5-0.
No, I think they could get one later.
Where are they winning one later?
The Dome always Florida State.
Yeah, Florida State can chop that. You're
right. The Dome can always do that.
Yeah, but they only have NC State could lose the game. Notre Dame's
NC State could be the game, dude.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
coming off the bye.
I'm going over. They're just going to be an interesting team to watch, man. And I think that offense could be, dynamic.
I mean,
like Dan Marino's wife.
How many games do they have to win before the bye, though? They do have to win 4 games. Or you're fucked.
I'm taking Louisville, but I think I wouldn't shock me if they won that, but they can win UConn. They could potentially win Purdue.
I feel like
I almost think they should be favored against Virginia and Wagner.
Can they win more than 5 games?
It depends, because another thing is he might get fired in the middle of the season.
But
but he has a record of at least recently of winning 5 games. 2021 he got 5. 2020 he was 1-10.
The schedule is really
5-7,
hard
10-3.
The bye.
I'm on the over. 5-7. This is a 5-7, 6-6 team.
I don't think they're gonna get there. They could be 4-1 and still not get there, Sean.
Yeah, I'm gonna go under.
Under.
Yeah, it's tough because I think they just could be out on the coach.
And if you've never heard that Dino Babers hype video from whatever that was, him talking about the electric special teams they're going to play up there in the Dome. It's fabulous.
Where was
I think
that?
it's on YouTube. I don't just Google or just throw into YouTube like Dino Babers hype video. It's
easy checking in on the YouTube channel. Colby, I'm the over. Dant, Mike Robb saying Colby's just using all the wins for overs that Kramer didn't use, having the NFL losing 30 more games than they play.
When the unders go 14-18, like I predicted, you all can suck it. Boston College 6.5 plus 130 to the over, minus 145 to the under, 18-1 division, 40-1 conference. As much as I hate to do it, this feels like an auto over for me. Quarterback wise, they could have the best one.
He's got to stay healthy.
He's got to stay healthy.
Jerkovic.
If he's healthy.
They're only bringing back 1 offensive line starter. That is worrisome.
But
they are bringing 7 starters back from their defense.
Boston College tends to figure out offensive line play. So I would say, what are the chances that Jerkovic is the highest drafted quarterback out of the ACC if he stays healthy?
I think decent. I think pretty decent.
He can be. I mean, isn't he a first rounder if he stays healthy? Because he's big as shit. He's got an arm.
He's a baller.
He can carry a team. You can absolutely pull up their schedule, and you can see the moments he can have in the schedule for those highlight reels against the Maine Black Bears, where he's carrying a guy on his back, running into the end zone.
Hey, don't shit on my Black Bears, buddy.
Now I'll say the win total is probably priced appropriately. They're good at that. But they do
6.5. You're getting plus 130 on the over, minus 145 on the under.
I'm on the over.
Rutgers at Virginia Tech, Maine Black Bears at Florida State to start it out. Those are 2 tougher road spots for a northern team to come south, both to Blacksburg and then Florida. Still September. Then you have Louisville, again, a team that I'm kind of high on. Again, you want to talk about quarterback play? That's going to be a fun matchup between Malik Cunningham and Jerkovic. And then you have Clemson, Big Cinco, Jerkovic. I mean, that's homecoming for Boston College. Exactly. Right, I think they're live in both those spots. Both those teams can lose that weird spot up there in Boston. Then you have at Wake Forest, which not the best game for them. Back to back with an at UConn should be a push over. Although Colby's probably high on UConn this year.
Our
Then
boy is the head coach there, Jim Mora Jr.
Playoff. The Duke Blue Devils at home, then at NC State, at Notre Dame. That's brutal, and then Syracuse to close it out. Part of the reason
7-5.
Part of the reason I think Syracuse is tough for that game is because their Boston College will need it.
Yeah, I can do over.
Where are the 5 losses?
5 losses.
So they lose at Virginia Tech or at Florida State, right? Or both?
Yeah, no, just give me one of those, right?
They
one to either Louisville or Clemson.
They drop. Yep. So that's 2. Do they lose to Wake? Probably.
If they have Hartman, I would say yes. That remains,
off the bye for Boston College though, and they at NC State, at Notre Dame. That could be back to back.
State.
That could be back to back. It's hard. That was 3 or 4 losses. So over.
Colby is now.
Don't worry, it's easy to see a tide turn.
Here we go.
8-1.
Yeah,
8-1 on the overs.
Well, and
I like this.
And if you can find a prop on, you know what, it might be out there. I'm gonna stop the show to look this up real quick, because if you can find a prop on Jerkovic to be the, let's see.
I like Dick Gertzberger says Jim Boeheim should be forced to coach football as well.
Anthony Gutierrez checking in the YouTube chat saying not related to this episode, but Colby, that Nevada Wolfpack preview was effing fire.
Wow, awesome.
Us Reno degenerates appreciated the love. Reno stamp of approval.
Hey, I love, as a kid, back to the days of Mike Maxwell, Alex Van Dyke. I loved rooting for the Wolfpack. I hope they get things together. They're a fun team. They've always been a fun team.
Road trip to Reno?
Yeah, we should get up there to Reno.
Phil Jerkovic, #1 pick, is 15-1. Phil Jerkovic, top quarterback in the draft, is 10-1. So I'm not a crazy person over here. And you're telling me the guy who's going to be the 4th highest drafted player, how are they not a live dog this year? So 6.5, that's crazy. Florida State 6.5, -120 over, +110 under, 15-1 division, 30-1 conference, 200-1 natty. That's just taking money from people. I don't know. I mean, I guess you can have optimism, but Florida State, the program was so destroyed, and I know they're coming out of it. The recruiting class have been solid, but it almost feels like they're back to getting a little too much hype at this number. I know it's only 6.5, but
7 returning defensive starters.
I don't know if that's a good thing. I think there's still some rot.
Well,
right?
I mean, I think the big thing also is they've been hit with the injury bug. Their starting center is out for the season. They also lost a running back. They've just been dinged up a little bit defensively.
And the schedule does not. It's not they catch
a conference is insane.
They catch a lot of tough. Conference games on the road are tough,
dude.
And they have LSU in Florida
and Louisiana, who went 12-1 last year. And let's not forget this.
All right, let's do it.
You have the Norvell could be fired by the bye week. If the second bye week, not the first one.
Again, the talent could be there, but this program has been poisoned.
I mean, do they have a ton of surefire wins after Duquesne?
Well, I don't even know if you want to say that, because they lost to an FCS last year, and Duquesne beat an FBS last year. But yes, I would say Duquesne.
LSU.
Were we with the Terrell?
Yeah, we were at the
who did they
lose? They lost to Jacksonville State.
Last year. Right. Yeah. Jacksonville State hit like a bomb in overtime. Yeah, that was awesome.
It wasn't even a Hail Mary. They just did a deep post, and Florida State did a terrible tackling job.
LSU
loss,
and then they have a week. Literally the week we're going to be in Vegas for week 1. Florida State's on a bye.
Week 3 bye, but they play week 0. That's insane.
No, it's week 2 because week 0.
No. I'm just saying, like, essentially their third week of playing.
That's great. At Louisville again. That's not a good.
I think they're going to lose it. Louisville
Boston College coming down south. That's probably a tough spot.
I'm going to give FSU the win there, but I think it's a 50-50 game.
Wake
Jerkovic could ball out.
Wake for homecoming.
See, but this is interesting because when I did Florida State, I had Wake as a for sure loss. Wake fucked them up last year. And if Hartman's not available for that game, it kind of makes it a 50-50 game.
Then at NC State,
loss.
Feels like a loss. Then Clemson,
loss.
I'm not as high on Clemson, but yeah, it does seem like Clemson's just owned them lately. Then another bye week. And
what is Clemson great at? Their defensive line. What has the weakness of Florida State been lately? Offensive line.
Exactly right. and it's like not even close. They don't even have Division I players there. Georgia Tech, the Yellow Jackets.
I mean, that's a
winnable game.
But surprisingly, man,
Georgia Tech plays them well.
They've won, I think, 4 or 5.
And it's a look ahead to Miami, where there's a back-to-back road spot where they have at Miami, at Syracuse.
Watch that dome game and
circle
dude,
that.
I'm telling you, if they're fired, if they fire Norvell,
that's when it happens.
No, but then they're going to quit on the team and they're going to lose all those games.
Yeah, and then they have Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns. They have the Gators. Hard to see a situation where they're winning 7 games because they're losing to LSU, NC State, Clemson, Miami, Florida off the bat. That's 5 losses, and then I like them to lose to either Louisville.
Yeah,
there's 2 or 3 more losses on the schedule.
Dude, you could paint a picture. They start out like 1-5.
I don't paint pictures, Colby. Louisville 6.5, -125 on the over, +115 on the under. 14-1 to win the division, 25-1 to win the conference. Is this not another fun long shot play here to win a division?
I like it.
Well, again,
Most
experienced quarterbacks. I mean, he's not Lamar Jackson, but he could be close to Lamar.
He had 20 rushing touchdowns last year.
5th year. This is insane.
Brandon Armstrong, Sam Hartman, and Malik Cunningham get no love. Everyone's talking jerk.
He averaged Cunningham 322.6 total yards per game, including 9.4 yards per attempt, rushing the ball, and they're bringing back 4 starting offensive linemen. So you give me a quarterback that can run and throw, and you're bringing back the offensive line. It's a great building block, right?
Yeah, it's tricky. They got to get past that Syracuse game because I expect them to probably lose the next one to UCF and John Rice Plumlee. But so it's a little that out the gate they can't afford a slow start. But I do like the over on this.
But again, it's a experience at quarterback situation, and the other side of this is they could rattle off some wins. The schedule's tough, right? Back-to-back road games to open the season, back-to-back road games twice in the first 6 weeks at Syracuse, at UCF. Then they have Florida State and South Florida.
And believe it or not, Satterfield's coaching for his job too.
So at Syracuse, at UCF, Florida State at home,
South Florida, at Boston College,
should be 3-1. They need to be 3-1 in September. Then at Boston College, at UVA, if you split, you're 4-2. You're heading into your bye week. You host Pitt and Wake, and JMU. You're at home 3 straight weeks. If you could win all those games. I still think the over is the play here, even though I think it is a hard schedule.
Then they close it out with at Clemson, NC State at home, at Kentucky.
At Kentucky, a little quarterback showcase game. I mean, that's a rivalry.
Governor's Cup.
I mean, again, any chance to fade Will Levis this year? Yes, please. I mean, look, I want to be bullish on this team because I think this is going to be the most exciting team to watch, and maybe that's concerning because their defense is giving up points, but I certainly like them as a team that could. They're going to be flirting with the idea of being at the top of this division.
The week 2 matchup at UCF is going to be very entertaining.
I also think they can beat. I mean, they can beat everyone in their division.
Yes.
Yeah, I think just off the quarterback alone, it's a fun over. But
yeah, I mean, and
they have a high ceiling for sure.
Definitely has nothing to do with the fact that I've been going all in on watching Lamar Jackson college highlights just so I can get a real visual of how much weight he's put on this offseason, Sean. I mean, it's unbelievable how skinny he was in college compared to. And again, Malik Cunningham, not Lamar Jackson, but he's close enough.
Yeah. All right, we got 3 left, and our locks. Before we get to that, we have our lock when it comes to learning a language. Me encanta Babbel. You know what that means? I love Babbel. That's right. Babbel is an amazing tool to help you learn languages like Spanish, which I just nailed right there. It's a language learning app that sold more than 10 million subscriptions. It's super fun, super easy to set up, very easy lessons to kind of get you going here. 15-minute lessons, perfect way to learn a language. You got a trip coming up, you can customize it like, hey, I got a trip coming up in 2 months. I want to learn some local slang, learn places, learn a little grammar so I don't sound like a complete idiot. Again, they have a teaching method that's been proven to be effective. You can choose from 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, Italian, and German. They got you covered. Plus, they got podcasts. Obviously, you like podcasts.
They got Orgeron on there.
Ed Orgeron, so you can be fluent in Cajun.
Can we see if they have a course in that? Fly that up the flagpole. Can we get some raw, like Bayou? What would that dialect be called?
Tigers up over
It would be called We Tigers.
We Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Go
Spelled
Tigers, go Tigers.
GEAUX.
Well, yeah, it is, and they have speech recognition. So if you're pronouncing whether it's Cajun or a real language like Spanish, whether you're pronouncing it wrong, they can recognize it. They can help you correct it. And again, get on the learning language journey today with Babbel. That's BABBEL. Mi candado es Virginia con más de 6 victorias. Hey. If you knew Spanish, you would know. Jesus. I just gave out my lock a little bit early there. Right now, to save up 60% off your subscription, you can go to babbel.com/SGP. That's BABEL.com/SGP for up to 60% off your subscription. And hey,
sorry, I was going to say they want a full Spanish episode. The chat is calling for a full Babbel sponsor.
Either that or a full Orgeron episode.
SGPN Deportes. Hey, and speaking of language, numbers really is its own language, and Elias helps you sort through the craziness that is stats. You've probably already heard of Elias, the Elias Sports Bureau, highly cited, highly recognized. They're the official statisticians of the NFL and major pro leagues, and they got a great new app, the Elias Game Plan app. It's awesome. You get head-to-head comparisons, player comparisons, Elias insights from the Elias Sports Bureau, and that their research team. It isn't some algorithm. It's actually just a bunch of dudes grinding it out, looking at all the numbers, doing all the heavy lifting, so you don't have to do it. That's why I use Elias. I love the Game Plan app. I don't know what I did without this thing. It's been awesome. Help me cash the Jets plus 2.5 preseason football, baby. NFL right around the corner. You want great information. Elias has that for you. So download Elias Game Plan and find it in the App Store, Google Play Store. Elias Game Plan app. Let's go, Kramer.
Well done. All right, 3 teams to go. 8.5 for Wake Forest, plus 125 over, minus 140 under, 16-1 to win the division, 30-1 to win the conference. This obviously is slow to the giddy up, I suppose.
I mean, if you're going to play the over, you got to wait on this, right?
Well, I mean, again, it seems like the Win is not scared of the Hartman medical news like every other book out there.
He's like,
so leaving out
he threw 50 fucking touchdowns last year.
Well, maybe they're not worried about the medical news. Maybe it's just a trip to Cabo with his family before the season. Yeah. It sounds like he might not play this year. And it sounds like if he's not going to play this year, again, this didn't happen in the spring.
7 hours ago, according to the Independent Tribune, Wake Forest optimistic about having Sam Hartman back. So maybe
when though?
Maybe
like in the season anytime, or is that?
I mean, honestly, if he's playing again, you look at which quarterback in the conference is.
They said their head coach said they're optimistic they're going to have him back this season.
See, I mean, I just need a little more clarity on when though. I mean, because if you bring him back by the time October 22nd, then you could be losing some of those other games. I mean, luckily for them, the schedule's not like I think
they said we'll know more in 2 weeks.
Something serious enough to like colleges don't have to disclose shit.
Yeah.
So something serious enough is going on that it got out, or they had.
Well, even the way they protected it, you can tell. You can tell it's something
serious is going on. I would lean to the things that I read in the Reddit world made me believe that this is like a long shot to play. And that's exactly what you would say if you're the coach. You're optimistic, you want.
But they've had other players get injured, and they'll say their injury. So it's weird.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and so,
because it's probably bad. Again, I think you're fortunate.
Like he may never play football again, kind of thing.
I think you're fortunate that the Win is still hanging at 8.5 because I'm all over the under just off this injury news, and the 8.5 is almost implying that he's going to be playing.
And I'll even take this a step forward. This is a team that is attempting to pick on the military institution, the fine military institutions of this land. They have VMI.
Is Liberty a military institution yet?
They have some. They have some presence.
I mean, I think
they play Army.
I know,
they play Army, and I know
they do miss Virginia Tech, which is fun fact: largest military population on a civilian campus. The Hokies.
They play Army, and they let up 195.6 rush yards a game.
Good.
And you don't have Sam Hartman. You're gonna he's at least.
Will
like,
he be back then? I mean, I don't know. That's what makes this so hard to tell. But I can tell you this: knowing this,
well, let's run through it.
I loved what they hired at defensive coordinator. Brad Lambert is one of the best defensive coordinators, and I think he's going to come in and fix this, much like he did with Purdue's defense last year, and much like he did with Marshall the year prior. This is pivotal though to know when he's coming back, because like BC, Army, Florida State. If you don't have a guy that threw 50 touchdowns, I think you're concerned.
I think the schedule starts off favorable and ends favorable, but there's a middle stretch. They just got to get through it. VMI at Vanderbilt, Liberty, early homecoming. Most schools don't have homecoming week 3. Clemson week 4. This is a tough stretch for them.
Well, I feel like they're going to lose to Clemson even with Hartman. Clemson fucks them up, but if they can get Hartman back by October, I think their season can be saved. I think they're going to be 3-0 to start the season with whoever starts at quarterback.
I mean,
Patty C.
Patty C. Probably.
Yes.
Then they have
Patty C. Could get 3
then
wins.
It's at Florida State and then Army, which is a tough little stretch.
Army, I think, is going to beat them.
Bye week: Boston College at Louisville at NC State, North Carolina.
You need Hartman by now.
Syracuse,
if you don't have Hartman by now, you're in trouble.
The schedule is not difficult though if they do have Hartman, and I could see an easy case for the over.
That's what I'm saying. If they have Hartman, I actually love the play on the over.
With other other places that may exist in the wild have dropped this as low as 6.5.
Yeah.
At that number, you're probably going to gamble on the over, right? Or is the better gamble them to win the division or something like that?
No, because Clemson will have the tiebreaker on them. So I actually think you either wait this out. I'm still taking the over. I trust Dave Clawson.
Do you play under 8.5?
You need a couple more overs.
Do you play under 8.5 over 6.5 and hope for them to be a 7 or 8 win team?
That's not a bad.
That's interesting.
I mean, it's rare to have
2-win middle.
I mean, the chat's saying they saw it at 5.5. That's what I'm saying. Like,
so you have a 3-win middle of 6, 7, 8.
I'm taking the under because we're picking it at 8.5. So. Yeah.
And then,
I think Colby's insane to
Sean,
take the over. But
we're going to take under 8.5. We're going to buy back over 5.5. Because to Colby's point, this program probably not bad enough to crater.
No, 5.5 is too low, and you see the schedule.
The schedule's easy
to point out. Like we said, Patty C could go 3-1 that first stretch.
He's got a good arm though, so we're not. He's an athlete.
It's not meant. It's just saying wins over replacement. We should change it to WAP, win over Patty C. And Hartman certainly you're going to be missed, but so with no Hartman, and they easily get to 4 losses.
I'm telling you, this coach has done this before. You saw it when Jamie Newman announced he was transferring to Georgia. Well, then you found out about Sam Hartman. You saw it with Kenneth Walker going to Michigan State. Well, here's Christian Beal-Smith. They do this. The system works. The system works. Give me the over.
Sorry,
on the
I'm laughing at Mike in the chat. QB could be out for the year. Colby loves the over.
Yeah, it probably has like some serious medical condition. Love the over.
NC State also at 8.5, -150 over, +135 under, 475 to win the division, 750 conference, 200 to 1 to win the national championship. I believe they're dangerously close to being above the 50% blue chip ratio threshold that Bud Elliott touts as the gate to national championship. So 200 to 1, maybe. Do they have that kind of ceiling? They have talent. There's a lot of hype coming in with this NC State team, which scares me because you circle them, they're up there with Miami in terms of being able to choke, finding a way to shit on themselves, like not quite getting to the bathroom. It's dripping down your leg because you didn't quite get to the end of the season.
Devin Leary, 35 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Love Devin Leary.
9-3 last season.
Love their schedule.
Defense is good. 19.7 points per game last year. Bringing back Corey Durndon, a couple of other all ACC contenders.
But
Tanner Engel, Tyler Baker Williams, Shaheem Battle.
ECU week 1. I mean, this everything comes crashing down on the road week 1 potentially for them. Again, sitting at an 8.5, we need 9-3. It's an
early game too.
I'll roll through the schedule at ECU.
Charlotte Southern could be in
Charleston Southern.
Charleston
the
Southern
Bucks.
could be in trouble.
Texas Tech. I mean, at least it's a Power 5, but I don't think we expect them to be very good this year. UConn, another horrible team. I mean, to me, this is worst case 3-1. Then they go at Clemson, Florida State, at Syracuse. That's a tough stretch right there. I think they definitely are going to take. Could this be the year they do something to Clemson? It's early enough in the season.
No, they beat Clemson last year.
We don't have on the road.
They beat them in Raleigh last year, so now they got to go to Clemson.
So,
they're going to lose.
But it's early enough to see. Like Clemson might still not have a quarterback situation figured out. So it could beat Florida State at home, Syracuse. Maybe that's a weird road spot. We kind of had Syracuse winning that one. Bye week. Then they have the Hokies at home, Wake Forest, Boston College. It's 3 straight home games. Then at Louisville, at North Carolina to close it out. I mean, to me, they're gonna be going into that first bye probably with a loss, and then maybe one loss in the second half of the season. I feel like I'm over because I feel like I'm stretching to even get 3 losses, let alone 4.
I'm locking up the under.
Wow.
This
out
is
of nowhere.
Yes, I am locking up the under. This team is overrated.
He went to ECU.
No, but let me state my points. Look at historically, NC State never wins on the road. Last year, they were able to finagle that because they got Tyler Van Dyke in his second start, which is a game they still lost. But also, they played Florida State with Jordan Travis. I was out for COVID, so they were on Florida State's backup quarterback. They got Boston College without Jerkovic. This year, the road schedule goes to Greenville, goes to Clemson, goes to Syracuse, goes to Louisville, goes to North Carolina, and you got to remember Wake Forest has owned them lately. That if Hartman's there, there's no way. Lock it up. Give me the under all day.
I like again. This is I think their ceiling is.
I even think the Texas Tech game's sneaky.
Their ceiling is as high as anyone in the conference. I'm absolutely taking the over. Colby, what you finally go under?
Yes,
we disagree. I like it. All right, last one. Clemson 10.5. This is insane. +110 over, -110.
Wait, so you're on the under, Kramer?
No, I'm on the over.
Okay, because I'm also on the over, and yeah, but I don't think I'll lock it up because the -150 juice is kind of crazy on the over 8.5.
Yeah, Colby's out of control with his hate for NC State. 10.5 for Clemson, +110 over, -120 under, -240 to win the division. That's insane. -130 to win the conference. That's also insane. 12-1 to win the national championship. They don't even have a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, for me to project 11 wins, I need a quarterback who's going to throw for more than 55.6%, 9 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and you give him all this talent. Like Big Cinco is just a big disappointment.
Ooh, I liked Colby calling out the upset week 1 Monday night at Georgia Tech.
No, I didn't.
What about the Paladins against
Georgia
Furman?
Tech? Almost beat them last year, though. They had a goal line stand.
Spot. Clemson doesn't.
Furman's going to be a live dog.
La Tech?
No,
I mean at Wake Forest, interesting, but as you pointed out, Clemson fucks them up. NC State, that's a losable game. At Boston College, at Florida State, they could potentially. Could they fall asleep there in a back-to-back road spot? 3 road games in 4 weeks. That's not easy. Syracuse coming off that bye week at Notre Dame, Louisville, Miami, South Carolina, all at home. So
2 finished with 3 home games, but come on, they can win. They can lose 2 of these games. Like, why is this even a question?
There are. I think you're circling the Notre Dame game. You're circling the Florida State, Boston College game.
Syracuse normally plays them tough. I mean, if it was in Syracuse, it'd be different.
And you're circling the Miami, South Carolina, Louisville chunk as like those.
It's a great schedule.
Those are 3 blocks of losable games, but
they lost a lot. I mean, they lost both coordinators.
Here's my argument. Yeah, I mean the coordinators, and then also you just look at their general performance over the last 3 years. It's just on the decline. And so do they have that transcendent quarterback that they've needed to be relevant at the national level? No, they don't.
Yeah, I agree. I'm on the under. I think it's more likely fraudulent. I think it's more likely they go 10-2. Give me the under. I don't know. I part of me thinks it's going to be BC and Notre Dame, but I will say this: Notre Dame keeps getting a bunch of injuries. It makes me scared that
I would take an adjusted under on Clemson, like adjusted 9.5
when they lose against Georgia Tech week 1.
Oh, let's go.
How excited.
Who are they going to be playing when we're out there?
Who's better quarterback, Sims
Furman
or Big Cinco?
All right.
Better quarterback week 1, Georgia Tech versus Clemson. Which team has the better quarterback?
I think Sims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right. We've just talked ourselves into a massive money line dog, Sean. Let's go.
Let's go. All right. So we're all in the under here.
Yeah.
Okay. So we had 7. Okay. Colby has 10 overs, 4 unders. All right. Get a little balance there at the end. All right. Let's do it.
I have 9 unders for what it's worth.
You guys are maniacs.
No, but you got to look at it from 8-game conference schedules. That your chances of it having over is much better.
It's 33% more non-conference games in the Pac-12. All right. Lock? Are we locking stuff up?
Yes. Give us your 2 locks, Ryan.
I won't lock up Wake Forest because that almost feels like cheating. But I will lock up the under. Actually, no, let's lock up the over on Louisville. Love that one at 6.5. Let's lock up the under on Florida State. And if you want to have some fun, you take my Hokies and you take the Wahoos to win the Coastal.
Yeah, I'll take UVA over 6.5 for one of my locks.
That's kind of gross.
Why? I like Brendan Armstrong. He's a fun guy to root for. Puts a team on his back.
It's not natural for lefties to play quarterback. And Steve Young, it was just disgusting to watch the ball spin the wrong way.
I'm gonna also go under. There's a couple unders I like.
This is
I'll keep it positive. I'll go over. I'll lock up Louisville over 6.5. Malik Cunningham,
nice copy.
Fun guy to root for. Colby, what do you got?
I'm gonna lock up Louisville as well. My favorite play was Wake prior to the injury, but
Colby.
And then my second lock is NC State under 8.5.
All right.
Under 8.5. Let's go. Got a ton more episodes coming out, including Week 0 college football picks podcast. You gotta want to tune in for that one. A lot of fun. Hey, toss us a nice rating and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you can write a review for our podcast. Get creative. Screenshot the review. Submit it in the SGPN app by just clicking the contest tab. While you're there, also join our free NFL Survivor contest.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
Like Coach Foster said, go Hokies.
Kramer, let it ride.